right? Yeah. Jesse Lee Peterson, Savage Moments, Part 16. Let's go.
Oh,
Melania,
I do. I have morals. Sure.
where do you get your morals from?
I treat people around me like I want to be treated. You know.
And how's it like slaps?
Deviating from the norm, and the people who go through this, it's very hard for them. It's something that if has driven people to medications and to surgery. So I think it's fair to say, and this is not a normative "you're a bad person" thing, but it's not the norm, right?
But that doesn't make it wrong.
No.
It doesn't make it
If it's not normal, it's wrong.
invaluable.
But would you say autism is
This
wrong?
is what I said in the last
You
one.
Yes.
would. You are.
Okay,
Because
but
it's
you can,
it's
but
an
you can
abnormal situation.
right, but
so it's
abnormal,
wrong.
yeah, but wrong is a normative form of judgment. But it's abnormal, obviously.
Are you at all open to thinking a different thought about that? Because I work with the autism population.
I do too.
You shouldn't be.
What?
You
Okay,
shouldn't be.
But back to the
Why
issue.
not?
Back to the issue of transgender.
You just communicated via your
But I believe
multiple
they can
platforms
overcome it.
that it is not something to overcome. Learning skills, like we all need to learn skills to get along in this world that
It's
we
just
live in.
another trauma that you can overcome. Lauren, do you believe that all things are possible through Christ? You can overcome anything.
Including your ignorance.
Lauren, can you
Can you
overcome
overcome your
anything
ignorance?
through Christ?
That's
I don't
quite
think
good.
you can overcome.
Because I'm gonna be praying that God gives you
autism.
some revelations
That's
about
the,
some
like
things.
Christ doesn't promise us perfect health. Christ doesn't promise us a perfect body. What Christ promises us is redemption and salvation, which I believe is possible. But
Both
he's
of which
not.
you need.
He is
Do you
not. He
believe
is
that-
not a magic genie where we can just say, hey, I'm missing an arm. I need an arm, because that's not something we're requesting through him out of our love and
Do you
service to him. That's
believe
something
that
we're requesting
you
for
can
ourselves.
overcome all things through Christ?
But not if we're not talking about all things. We're talking about autism
But all
specifically.
things is all things.
A person
So,
who learns to function.
I just want to hold on 1 minute.
in
I don't come to you
society-
because I want to ask you about the great white hope.
I don't think we
The
have the
autism
right to
doesn't
ask
just
Christ to
disappear.
overcome
They just learn
autism.
skills.
Autism
So
isn't
as-
something to be overcome.
So as a
it's not. It's
Christian-
not something to be overcome. It's something that some people have. But it's like, I mean, that's like saying
So, Lauren,
I
give me
need
a
to
yes or no.
overcome
Give me a yes or no.
my
As a
shortness through
Christian,
Christ.
Do you believe?
She's not your type of Christian, sir. She's the type of Christian I actually applaud and have respect for.
Does that
because
make you
she's-
nervous to hear that?
No, it shouldn't.
I will rush back in my prayer closet.
No, your prayer closet.
Oh Lord, if this guy is
Your
like
prayer
me
closet is
and
doing
agreeing-
nothing
what
for you,
have
sir.
I said that's
with all due
against
respect.
the good news,
me
for
go back to
example?
it. Let me go
Specifically,
back
what
to it.
has it been?
You put so much toxic.
Now, what Jesse's saying, I was thinking it's not possible to overcome everything. Because I was thinking cancer. But then look at Gord Downey. Gord Downey had a brain tumor and couldn't remember the words to his own song, but he got it in his head that he wanted to do another tour, and he did it. No, he still died of the disease, but everybody's got to die. I mean, the cancer. So you can't overcome death. But he did kind of overcome the effect of what the cancer was doing to him. Yeah. And I suppose if you're autistic, there's ways that you can overcome it to function. But then some you can't. Do you know what I mean? You can't. And take Down syndrome, you can't. But then I suppose in a way you can. Because, do you know what I mean? It used to be Dougie, now it's Kelvin who collects the trolleys at the supermarket near here. And they got Down syndrome, but they overcome it to the point they have a job. They they actually, do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I suppose you can overcome things. It just depends in which way do you mean overcome. You're not going to get rid of Down syndrome, do you know what I mean? But yeah, you can overcome it to be functional, I suppose. Hmm. It's quite a deep point though, Jesse's getting at there, I think, that yeah, because it took me a while to actually think. So I was thinking you can't overcome cancer, but then yeah, I thought God Downey did. I mean, like I say, it still killed him, but everybody, we've all got to die. So, but in just about every way, he overcome that. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's go.
Out there that, like,
let
trust me, if Jesus did come back, you were not going to be going along for the ride with him.
Jesus is here already.
Nah. Like, this is,
So let me
these are
ask you,
serious topics, and you just, like, throw out these remarks for a laugh. Like,
Lauren, let me
Yeah,
ask.
but like that, what you're
do
saying
you
sounds
believe
a lot like the
all things-
prosperity
do you-
gospel.
Do you believe that we can overcome all things for those who believe in Christ? Is it possible to overcome all things if you believe in God?
Yeah, anything that we are capable, anything that we could overcome, we can overcome
Lauren,
through
you're not
Christ.
answering
But
my question.
I
Do
am
you-
answering the
for
question.
those
Jesus
who
is not
believe-
your genie. Jesus is not something you can just, hey, I
nor
don't
is he
want
your
the autism.
scapegoat to justify the awful things that
I'm asking
so-called
the
Christian
Christian
people
this
do.
question. Do you believe, for those who believe in God, you can overcome all things? Give me a yes or no, a simple yes or no, so I can move on.
Can you overcome
for
your
those
prejudice
who believe
of
in
black people?
God, do you believe that
Do you
can
pray to ask
overcome
God to enlighten
all
you
things?
about what it is to be black in America?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that Christ will allow us to heal.
I said this before. Jesse's been black in America a lot longer than he has. And Jesse's been black in America when there was actually Jim Crow laws. This is what I find funny is that they like overcome your like your lack of understanding to be black. He is black in America. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's
No,
not
you're
something to
I
be
didn't
healed.
ask about that.
Yeah,
I'm
but that's
asking-
my answer, and I'm leaving it at
No, but
that.
I'm not
I've
asking
answered
about
plenty.
autism.
I'm
You're
not gonna
asking
no.
As a believer
She thinks you're
in God.
about as ridiculous as I think. Like, it's,
Is that true?
It's really sad.
I
Like,
think what you're saying is ridiculous in
that
regard
you
to
cannot
autism.
overcome all
I
things
came on
through
the show
Christ.
to see for
I think
myself if
the-
like you really genuinely like believed what you espouse, if you at all cared about actually like civic dialogue and actually like having a real conversation. But it's very clear to me that all you care about is espousing your twisted views to as many people that will pay attention to you, and it's
Amazing.
really sad.
Let me ask you about
The fact that you get invited to important panels to discuss important topics, it's really
Do you know Jesse as well is kind of doing there what Jesus did? Because in what he's asking her to say is a yes or no to, do you think belief in God can help you overcome everything? Now, if she answers no, then it destroys her point of saying that she is a Christian, because that is a Christian belief. But by saying yes, she looks like she's kind of calling the people lazy that don't overcome things, or calling them non-religious or whatever. But Jesus kind of did the same thing when he was asked, I think by the Romans, when they said to him, by what authority do you call yourself the Son of God? And Jesus said, I'll tell you by what authority if you answer me. Do you think John the Baptist was ordained by God? And he put them in a bad, with that question, he put them in a bad position, because if they said no, they're upset their population that does think he was ordained by God. But then if they say yes, then Jesus can say, well, why didn't you respect him as that? Like, why didn't you accept him as that? So he put that, and that's kind of, Jesse's kind of done the same thing there that Jesus does do. Jesus, if you actually listen to the Gospels, he is a bit of a Riddler. Do you know what I mean? Like, he does like things like that quite a lot. Yeah. Just thought I'll throw that out there.
It's really sad state of affairs that we find ourselves in.
If I agree with you, would it still be sad?
It's not about you agreeing. It's about you having a willingness to have an actual conversation and to be able to. You can't have a debate, a so-called debate, and not be willing to walk away thinking something that you didn't go in there thinking.
If
But
I
then the same
agree with
applies
you,
If
would
you
it still
only
be-
go in there to try to prove that what your stance is the right stance, then we get nowhere.
But my
Which is
stance
why we
is
have the
right-
polarization
my
that we have now in
stance
our
is the right
country.
way because
You
it's the
are
way of God.
amazing.
Do the blacks and the Muslims get along in London?
Many, I would say, I don't even know the exact stat, but when you say blacks and Muslims, you're creating a separation. Only the 20% of Muslims are Arabs. There's 2 billion Muslims in the world. Only 20% are Arabs. 80% of Muslims are not Arabs. So you have like, I don't know, the population of black Muslims that are out there. So why are you creating this separation anyways?
I'm just wondering because the blacks don't get along with anybody else. I just wonder.
There's full African countries that are, like Somalia, for example, which is 99% Muslims. They're all black.
I'm sorry to hear that. No wonder. What a mess.
With all okay, so far, no problem. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
they're bringing that same evil stuff here, and they're still killing each other, and they're killing American citizens. What are they supposed to do now? Run to another country?
What do you mean they're killing American citizens?
These
There's
are
absolutely
violent
no
gangs.
evidence of that.
Yes, it is. Have you seen in New York and
I
South
lived in New
Central
York
LA?
for 30 years. There were no gangs killing Americans
What's the
in
name
New
of
York.
those street gangs? MS-13 and others. It's rampant
It
in
is
New
not
York.
rampant.
There was no gangs killing people in New York. Isn't that literally what the Warriors is based on? All the different gangs. I'm pretty sure it is New York. Oh, there's a reason the Warriors was made.
Other places. Are you in denial about that?
I'm not in denial.
But you're
Absolutely
not
no,
being
it is
honest
not
about it.
rampant.
It is
the
rampant.
violence that MS-13.
Are you seriously saying it's not rampant?
Hang on. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
The violence of MS-13 is actually perpetrated on its own members, right?
No.
You're talking about what goes on in Brentwood on Long Island, which I lived very close to for many years, right?
Right.
Right? I'm not negating that violence exists. What I am saying is that it has been wildly blown out of proportion.
But it hasn't.
It-
I happen to
it
know.
absolutely has,
I
my
happen
brother.
to know police officers
It-
and others who are working with those
It
people. It's not
absolutely
been-
has been blown
I've seen it.
wildly.
I've seen it. It has not been. It's not blown out of proportion. It's not really told
So
how bad it
give,
really
give
is.
me some numbers.
I don't have numbers right here in
then-
hand, but
then-
they're killing. And so you're okay with them leaving their country, killing one another, but to come here and do it?
That's a really dumb question.
Are you okay with that? Give me a dumb answer to it.
No, I'm not even going to dignify it with an answer.
But you said that they are doing that to themselves over there. But they're
no,
also,
that isn't actually what I said.
well, they're running away from it, right? But they're coming here doing it to themselves.
You're talking about
Uh,
8,
are
9,
you-
10, 11-year-old kids coming here.
Those are not, well, there are some kids coming here, but they're becoming killers as well.
This is just bullshit.
You a priest, can you curse?
I just did.
That's amazing. You gay and you curse? God's not pleased.
God is not pleased.
How do you
I
feel
guess
about,
you and I worship two different ideas about that.
oh yeah. How do you feel about the Great White Hope?
That's what just.
What is that?
Donald Trump, the president.
I'm not in favor of him.
Why not?
I think he's incompetent and mentally unstable.
In what way?
In what way is he mentally unstable?
First, incompetent. How is he incompetent?
He is impulsive, ignorant, does not take advice of people who know about things. He is a narcissist and therefore sees the world only in terms of himself. He is psychologically really damaged, and I just think he's a very poor.
Is it impulsive or compulsive to put a wall up around the border?
To be fair, everything he just said then was opinion. He didn't say he balls this up, this collapsed because of him. He's clearly not incompetent. Do you know what I mean? He survived in business for years. And I know he's had money and he come from money, but he's been like broke 5 times and come back. Do you know what I mean? He's just one of them guys that is gonna make. He's good at making right. You gotta remember that most wealth, I think it's 90% of wealth is generational, or money is generational. It's very rare that the child carries it on because the child hasn't grown up under the circumstances that taught the parent how to get in that position in the first place. But Trump is a good businessman. Like, no one can say that no one can argue with that. Like, he's not incompetent. And I'm pretty sure that, I think this time round people are more willing to have Trump back because he was actually good. And his kind of, honestly, the appearance of being a loose cannon to a country, like as your country's leader, is actually a good thing, as long as he's not. And he didn't start World War III. Do you know what I mean? Last time he was in. But having someone that the world thinks is unstable, it means no one's going to mess with your country as quick. It really does. Do you know what I mean? It really does. If people think you've got a soft, weak government and a soft, weak leader, they'll treat you like that. But yeah, he can't actually be unstable. He just has to appear unstable. Or at least, impulsive. That he will attack you if you mess around. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, let's go.
To protect the American citizen?
It's ineffectual.
Is that mental?
Well, I mean, he hasn't really done it. I think it's just a publicity.
No, the wall is going up. Is that mental?
Have you heard that they? I know, and they're boring through it.
But I'm asking you, is that mental to put America first?
You mean, do I think that's a good thing to put America first?
Right.
No, I don't think it's a good thing to put America
Are
first.
you an American citizen?
I am an American citizen.
And so you think that it's a bad idea to put the wall up around the border?
I think it's a terrible idea.
You don't want to protect the American people.
It's ineffectual.
So Israel put a wall up around its borders. Are they mental as well?
Yes.
Israel is mental for putting a wall up?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You love the Jews?
I do.
You love white people?
Well, I try to love people generally.
How about white people?
I don't understand the meaning of that question.
You understood when I asked about the Jews. You said right away, yeah, I love the Jews.
No, I didn't say that.
What'd you say?
I said I like them. Do I love the Jews? Do I love white people? I think what I said is actually I try to love all people.
Do you love the white people?
Do I love the white people? Would you have anybody particular in mind?
All white people.
No, I don't love all white people.
And why not?
Well, it would depend on the person.
Why don't you love all white people?
You mean, do I have a kind of blanket feeling of, well, okay, let me put it this way. I guess I love white people the same way I love all people.
But why don't you love all people?
I just told you I loved all people.
No, you said you didn't.
All right.
How is it possible that you could represent God and not love all people?
My brother, I'll see you later. This
Where
is
you
a
going?
really stupid conversation.
You about to run?
Yeah, I'm going.
Don't run. Priests don't run.
This priest is leaving
Why?
because it's a stupid conversation.
What's stupid about it? We're talking about America. Are you really running? Beta! Beta bell! Oh, amazing.
Oh, you're
She can
locked
buzz you
in.
out. She'll buzz you out.
I wasn't expecting that. He does make a lot of people walk off his show. That was crazy, that one. I did not see that coming. Because he asked if he loves white people, that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That kind of baffled me. Because he actually seemed again like he was kind of taking it in his stride. Madness. Beta male. Beta. But yeah, Jesse is a legend. Let's be real. But yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.